4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
If you don't scrap the kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak, yakety yak. Don't talk back. Money.
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for. Today we are talking about the epic movie Twins, baby. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Danny DeVito in a classic of hilarity. So, guys, how's the week been treating you? Of course, full disclosure, Shadwick, you just came from under the knife on the shoulder. How's the wing coming along about a week later?
So we knew about the torn rotator cuff going in,
Right,
and an entrapped nerve. So,
like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she dips beneath the lasers. Ooh.
I'm married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. Will you sleep with me?
Sorry, go ahead.
So surgery was supposed to be like an hour and a half, I think. Of course, I didn't know this when I came out of it, but I was actually under for almost 3 hours because they found once he was nosing around in there, he rooting around. He found, of course, the rotator cuff was torn, but also the labrum and 2 bicep tendons and 2 nerves. So,
Jesus.
yeah.
So you basically are about to be RoboCop with the whole new arm, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you.
You can see like where the
Homo cop. The day after, I was blowing snot bubbles, crying.
Oh, I'm sure that's a lot of pain, man.
Like a little girl with a skint knee and shit.
Yeah.
But it's better. It's a week now.
Yeah, we're
a week and a day.
Over a week. Yeah.
I have noticed. I guess it's maybe the pain medicine or whatever. My skin's like really dry, and I was like looking at my arm the other night, and I was like, of all the black attributes to get, ashiness was not the one I wanted.
You're about to go from ashy to classy as soon as you get done with those pain pills.
I'm about to go from ashy to classy.
But
like Ashy Larry.
You don't realize like all the shit that, like I'm right hand dominant, but like even shit like shaving,
Yeah, man.
or like wiping left-handed has been it's been the challenge I thought it was going to be,
But you accepted that one head on. You knew.
Every time I'm walking to the bathroom, I think about Michael Scott when he burned his foot, and he's asking Ryan to come help him in there, and then you just like you hear him fall behind the door.
Oh, help.
Shadwick hit his knee, and now he has a protuberance.
So hey, you got me. Aside from my surgery, I talked to a friend actually just today, and she was talking about her sister had breast reduction surgery, and
Did you bust out the super bad line?
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move.
I did ask her, like, what happens to the nipple? Do you pick out new nipples? If you're like,
You can get like different shapes.
Yeah, you pick them out of a catalog, or Do you get to design them like an NBA player on Xbox? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
you adjust the skin tone and the size
the
and
tint, and
their ups.
Stevie Wonders with a little braille around them, or the
amazing, dude.
Or do you think that she just like watches videos of celebrity titties and she's just like that and there.
I want that in right chair. I mean, I can only hope with modern science that you would be able to. You know, it's like in the back in the day when you go get your haircut, you could go pick out of a catalog, like you'd be like, I want that haircut. I believe it's just a book of nipples. And then
they're like, you don't have enough hair for that, sir.
Yeah,
It's actually called the big. It's actually called the Big Book of Nipples.
yes. Leaf has actually picked a few out himself.
I seen it.
I seen it. Well, all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and head over into our
Booze of
the week.
Get out of the street, you fucking bum!
So this week I went ahead and chose Coors Light, and I'll tell you why I chose Coors Light. Coors Light is throughout this movie everywhere, and I assume they had some kind of like endorsement.
Good call.
But it is everywhere in there, and I just kept seeing. They even do the whole like when they're at the table and Arnold's drinking milk, and you know Danny's got the
Milk is for babies.
yeah. That's what I thought of when I saw it. And he's like,
Grow up and drink beer.
Drink beer, but Danny DeVito's drinking that beer, and it's Coors Light, and I think I saw it in a bottle too. So I mean, hey, if they're rocking it on Twins, I'm gonna rock it today.
I'm pretty sure when they're in the bar, I think there's a Coors.
They had that. This had to
yeah.
be something to that. So anyway, rocking Coors Light. Leaf, what you got, brother?
That sounds so good, dude. I'm gonna do something a little. Hold on, a little something different. I'm gonna go for the little Voltron.
Oh,
baby.
nice, dude. I've actually tried that one.
I have not tried this one yet. I'm fading in and out.
It's solid, but I mean, I may have also been lost in the nostalgia of the Green Line.
Go ahead and taste it real quick. I'm interested.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Not a big fan of fruity, hazy IPAs, but hold on.
I wasn't
let's
either.
Give it a shot.
Do it for your memory.
That's what it is.
It tastes like something Pidge would fucking drink, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was being nice. That's what I thought too when I drank it. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. It's actually
Tastes like
ass.
It tastes like 5 Lines assholes.
Yeah, he's like smooth. So, Shadwick, I know that I think that you're not going to be able to participate in Booze of the Week this week.
Well, you know what?
In a different way, maybe.
He gonna do one.
Oh,
Joke's
I like
on
it.
you. We
Joke's
back,
on
baby.
you. So good, man, dude. You know what he's doing? He's sacrificing for the brand, and that's what I appreciate about him. So you got some Shinerbach over there.
Just like we found out today, Jake Paul sacrificed his life for our entertainment.
So we can watch Tyson one more time. Go Mike, baby. Go Mike.
Go Mike, dude.
All right, man. Let's flip it over.
Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro. Yeah, it's your night, bro. Oh, yeah, bro, you're gonna do it.
Let's get into this bitch, man. So Twins was, a movie. I actually, like, on Arnold's book, he talks about kind of the conception of this movie, how it came to pass. I believe, what is the director's name?
His name is Ivan Reitman.
So he did Animal House, and he also did he do Ghostbusters as well?
Yep.
So I mean, this guy, Arnold and him were on, a bunch of people were on the ski trip. Arnold was like, he's in all these action movies and he really wants to do comedy, so he actually said like he planned to like seek him out and kind of show him he could be funny, because he had been actually hanging out with like Milton Berle of all people in Hollywood. Like Arnold like became friends with him and started that was kind of his like, he was like, dude, you're funny. And he's like, you're even funnier. He's like, if I say something, it can be funny, but because of your accent, it's going to be even funnier when you're actually in your size. And so he basically used that ski trip as a tryout. And then Ivan's like, man, let's go do this. We'll hook up, we'll figure it out. And then somehow the script of Twins got floated around. It was Arnold's idea to get Danny DeVito. And then so Danny reached out to Danny. Danny was like, in classic Danny DeVito fashion, was like, awesome, sounds great. gonna need to see a script because it's got to be more than the visual joke. Like, there's got to be some substance to it because you know he's a fucking professional. Yeah. But man, that's a little tidbit from that, man. So that's kind of how this got in motion.
Did Arnold say what made him want to get into comedy?
I think that he just wanted to change because I mean, remember, like he was like making an assload doing these action movies, right? Man, and he just always liked comedy, and then he kind of buddied up. He said, like, I mean, he was hanging out with like Robin Williams, Rodney Dangerfield. He said, you know, they would go eat. Oh. Yeah, no respect, huh? So he said that they'd go eat at these I forgot what the diner was called, but he said you could get one-on-one with them and they'd be serious and you could kind of talk. But then as the guys started showing up, it was just ripping and destroying everybody. It was like a roast all the time. But he talks in his book about how Milton Berle really worked with him on comedic timing. And but I think like Ivan Reitman really saw an innocence with Arnold. And that's really, as you see in this movie, that's really kind of where that goes. So, Leaf, what do you got, man, on some boring-ass facts?
Man, just the general, man. Twins, if you've never heard of it, it's a buddy comedy film, like Chris said, produced and directed by Ivan Reitman. The film is about kind of complicated plot, but the general gist of it. Film is
the general jizz.
Yeah. It's about two unlikely fraternal twin brothers, played by Arnold and Danny DeVito, who are separated at birth. The core of the film is
made from 6 men's jizz.
Yes, stirred around. They're genetically altered kids, right? It's supposed to be one baby.
You get the motor, you keep your money, and I'll get your baby.
Arnold is the one that they're supposed to get. And then it ends up being twins in the womb. And then Danny's basically like, it's like the episode of Rick and Morty where he goes to the spa and all his negative shit comes out. That's Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
He's all the crap that's left over.
Yeah.
The film made $216 million worldwide.
I'm the crap.
1988.
Yeah. I'll tell you a fun fact about that. Talking about so they took this to Universal. And they took a weird deal. So I have my notes. The Arnold, Danny DeVito, and Reitman were going to get 37% on the back end. They take no salary on the front end, but they get 37 on the back. And that's no, Hollywood tax and shenanigans. That's straight up. So when Arnold wrote his book in 2012, the one that I'm like reading, I think he had made like almost 30 million off this movie.
Right.
And it's just nuts. Like they just cleaned up. And he said, I think the guy from Universal, he did the deal, but then he actually jokingly bent over and he's like, all right, you guys just take turns with me. And that's literally a quote out of his book.
Yeah. So nobody believed, like none of the studios believed that Arnold could pull off comedy.
Yes.
So they kept passing on it. And so he had so much faith in it that I think he talked Danny DeVito, and I think Reitman was already on board with it.
Yeah.
For them to do the back end deal.
Yeah, and they knew they would make, because I mean, also what he's talking about is, I mean, you got Reitman coming off of Ghostbusters, Animal House. You've got Arnold coming off of everything that he had done to this point. I think so. We're Terminator in. We're Predator in.
Predator is in. Yeah, Predator's in.
So
Commando.
So their budget, then Danny DeVito, who's been doing everything. So it's like their budget was going to be so top heavy. For Arnold to make a comedic debut, nobody was like wanting to put any money on that.
Well, according to my notes, this movie gave the both actors, Danny and Arnold, their biggest paycheck to date of their careers,
and they're still making money off of that movie.
So what? I know DeVito. He had done Cuckoo's Nest, and was he on? I guess Taxi.
Taxi. He was. Huge on Taxi.
So was that pretty much it?
I have
for
no
him
idea.
Leading up to that?
From what I understand, like he was pretty. I think he did some Broadway stuff too. So he was like an actor's actor.
That shit doesn't translate to film.
Yeah, what's what Hollywood always says, right? They obviously know what they're talking about. So but yeah, so that's kind of it's kind of a weird setup that they did the gamble. But if you read Arnold's book or know anything about him, and that motherfucker gambles on himself. 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. So, and he always wins. The house always wins with Arnold. So,
true.
Good on him, man.
Absolutely true.
All right, Leaf, continue. Sorry.
No, that's basically all the boring ass facts I have. If you want to like dive right into,
Let's dive in, man. Because I got some notes on the movie
go.
too. So let's kick it off, man.
Dude, the synopsis, bro. So, like I said before,
you were going to give us a synopsis.
It's already begun. He hasn't forgot.
So, I mean, honestly,
it's like a tag.
This film actually has a really complicated plot, believe it or not. And it starts out science fiction. Like, that's what's really kind of weird. Like, I had forgotten about that. Like, I guess it just slipped my mind because of the dichotomy between Arnold and Danny. It was just so funny.
Right.
That, they're supposed to be twin brothers. Obviously,
I completely forgot about the opening scene with the two different babies and, like, the babies. I watched it twice before we did this in the last couple of weeks. I didn't notice the Danny DeVito baby kicking the Arnold baby, and making him cry, and like them setting shit up with that. Also, I didn't know. Shout out to my boy and faithful listener John T. He's the one that pointed out to me Heather Graham is actually the woman in the picture. I didn't know that.
Way.
When they show the picture of his mom in that picture, it's Heather Graham. And he's right.
What?
It's in there.
What?
No
Verified.
way, dude.
Yep. Young ass Heather Graham.
That's unbelievable.
Like Hangover Heather Graham?
Yeah, Heather Graham. Like Roller Girl Heather Graham. Like,
damn.
That's for calling me crap fatty Heather Graham. So
Crap, you fatty.
The worst line ever. Was it the best take, Heather? Really?
Yeah, was that it? Yeah.
I don't blame you. Well, who directed that film? So
talking about with the plot, but
we get so opening scene, we get a voiceover, as you mentioned. It's one of the scientists, I think, that worked on the project we'll learn more about here. And we find out there's a secret government program to genetically engineer the perfect human being, the perfect male specimen. It doesn't really go into detail why they began this project, because none of the film is about like anything in the military,
just
right?
assume, like, oh yeah, you guys are on board with this cool genetic altering rock and roll. Like,
now that I think about it, whoever wrote Universal Soldier literally stole this from Twins.
Sure.
They just went down
right down to the ear necklace.
I'm gonna be honest. I was not ready for a Universal Soldier Twins comparison in this episode today.
It happened.
Here we are. Let's go, man. Let's go.
So it appears they somehow took DNA from 6 different genetically superior men and implanted them into one woman. Again,
Heather Graham.
Science fiction. Heather Graham, a young Marianne Benedict. No gangbang was involved, evidently.
No. I was going to say, the thing is, they didn't have the technology back then, so it was line them up, folks.
It was, and actually,
just awful.
I know it's kind of early to jump into shit stuck in my head this week.
River of ejaculate. A volume I had never seen in my lifetime. Now I know what the villagers of Pompeii felt like, where they were rained down on hot lava.
All right.
I rained down on those villagers with frothy ejaculate.
I've literally had that stuck in my head for 2 fucking weeks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Shadwick. River of frothy ejaculate was what went into their mom on Twins.
Marianne
that's probably not a very well known.
It's an outtake.
It's a blooper from one of the Anchorman.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been stuck in my head all week. I actually showed it to one of my friends, Jake, at work today, and he was crying, laughing because he had never seen it before. So thanks, Shadwick. That was a gem of a find. So
that's a banger.
So after the frothy stuff is done,
the frothy milkshake.
The perfect specimen is born, but we can't ignore this. Like, far be it from me to make any sort of
You think they gave her the frothy milkshake and they turned around And they turn back around and she's just got like a milk mustache. And they're like, no.
Why is she drinking it?
She just
Chadwick?
didn't know any better.
They're like, it doesn't go. No.
This is anti-science. I can't stand this. Speaking of that, we can't ignore the fact that there were no black or brown men invited to this experiment.
Welcome to 1980, ladies and gentlemen.
We wanted the perfect specimen, so of course they were all white dudes. Like, completely. All right. So the perfect specimen is indeed born named Julius, played, of course, by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's revealed that before his mother tragically died during his birth, another twin baby was born named Vincent, played by, of course, none other than Danny DeVito. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the title. Twins. They are twins.
The ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So Julius, a.k.a. Arnold, is raised and sheltered on fucking Paradise Island.
Yeah, just on an island, man. Like where there's plants and
Do any of you remember the coordinates?
No.
He mentions
About-
it. Arnold does.
In the South Pacific, about 300 nautical miles southwest of Fiji.
Wow,
All right.
dude. God damn.
Somebody Google.
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
That's I just remember because that's Epstein's island.
That was an Easter egg. Yeah. Thanks, Hollywood.
How do they know already? Well, we know. So Arnold has the best food on Paradise Island. He works out, never pollutes his body, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink. He speaks like 12 languages. Yeah. He has advanced knowledge in science and mathematics and literature, and he knows karate, evidently. Dude, that scene is hilarious.
So you got to bring that. That just brings me to my first note on here. You're talking about him eating like the perfect food and everything.
Yes.
So
He's Arnold.
That first scene when he gets to wherever he lands, is he in L.A.?
Yeah, I think so.
Wherever
LA,
it is,
yeah.
it shows him like walking down the street, and he's like eating a hot dog. He's eating like a quesadilla.
Mm-hmm.
You just eat.
I just want you to know that after eating clean his entire life and then eating that shit, the road trip would have been a lot longer because he would have had to shit every 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
For a week.
Also, the throwaway scene that we kind of talked about with the karate, like where it's that jump. It's not a jump scare, but it's a jump laugh where it's just him, and all of a sudden he's like, "Ha!" Like
it's like a hard block.
That shit made me laugh so freaking hard when I went back and watched that again for the first time.
It is really funny. I died laughing as well.
Great comedic timing on that from both guys. Like that was great. But
you moved too soon.
So Julius, is physically, mentally, and spiritually like flawless in every way, right? Like but when he finds out, of course, he has a twin. He leaves Paradise Island to go meet his brother Vincent. It's important to know too, he was raised by one of the scientists, which I always thought was weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Like
it wasn't
just
even
them
one
on the island too. Like
I didn't even pick up until I rewatched it today at the very end of it, where spoiler alert, they find their mom, and she ends up with that scientist at the very end.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
that is what it looks like.
I didn't pick that up either.
He's there, but I don't know if they were together more than it was sort of a call out to that's like Arnold's dad or a de facto father.
Yeah,
maybe
father
they were.
figure. Yeah,
they weren't holding hands or anything, but yeah, they were there together. So it was kind of like his mom and then the dude that raised him. Obviously,
it never said. Maybe he was one of the frothiest of the frothy.
I don't think he was one of the participants.
He's got the big brain on Brett for sure.
He definitely was super smart. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that does the voiceover. I can't remember the actor that plays him. He does the voiceover in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
But Arnold sets off basically because he has a premonition that his brother is in trouble. He finds out he has a brother, but he's like, somehow I always knew it. Like he always knew.
Because Arnold watched G.I. Joe, and we know in G.I. Joe, if one twin feels something, the other one also feels it. And that's
so Max.
And that has plagued twins for their entire lives in our generations. Dude, first fucking thing, the first time I met identical twins, I went to school with them in 5th grade, and I was like, so you guys like, if I hit him, are you gonna like
you flip one of them on the nose? Like, did you feel that?
Yeah, you like look over real quick. He's like, did he cover his nose? Did I like? So thanks, G.I. Joe, real American heroes. You know what I'm
That
saying?
shit was so funny when we. I cannot wait to go.
No one's half the battle.
Yep.
I'm not going into it, but that's gonna be so much fun when we cover the G.I. Joe episode, because man, I love the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. So yeah, so that's when we get the first inkling that there's some sort of supernatural connection between him and his brother. You know that
he's just gonna go fucking row 30 fucking miles or whatever to just go. Here he goes,
rescue
man.
his brother. Yeah, and he
but
just
Arnold
sets off
talks
on a
about
boat.
in his book too that I think this was like his real comedic big screen debut, other than I will argue that the blocked karate shot, you know, because he's had the one-liners, we all know that, and he's used comedy to break up action. When he starts singing, take out the papers and the trash.
Oh, you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrap that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak. Don't talk back.
Like when he starts doing that shit on the plane, that is so fucking funny, man. Yakety yak. Don't talk back.
Don't talk back.
When you see him kind of flirting with the stewardess or whatever, you know, Arnold's like, it's like a whole new world this dude's seeing. And he's also, let's not forget how entirely jacked his calves are, and they show for the entire fucking movie. Like,
because he always wears shorts. He's from the island.
Gratuitous zoom-ins on his calves, like.
Oh, in your book that you're reading about Arnold, was there a section where he talks about how his calves were too small and he and he worked his calves?
It was Weeder that had a calf machine or something, and
but didn't he say that he worked his calves like for like 8 hours one day or something?
Yeah, it's something crazy, and that's what's like anybody that's ever worked out. And this is obviously a sidebar. Your calves are almost entirely genetic. It is so hard to build up calves. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he had weak calves and has what we see on twins is, I mean, obviously what we've seen on Pumping Iron and everything else, but that's incredible.
That had to be some dedication.
Oh, for sure.
And probably extra genetic, like, frothiness he imbibed, no doubt.
It is better.
So, that's part of what the secrets mentioned on the plane is part of the montage we're treated to as Arnold finally reaches the plane and flies to L.A. And as we mentioned, as Shadwick mentioned, he's eating garbage and just having a good time and learning about
and dude, I love
American culture in the 80s.
I love the shot he takes. It's Rambo 3, I'm pretty sure. It's like the movie poster, and like Arnold walks up in front of it, and he looks at
his arms.
He looks at Stallone's arms, and he looks at his and kind of like grabs him, and he just goes like,
head. Yeah. He said obviously that was on purpose, but that was like those two dudes. This was before I think they buried the hatchet with the Planet Hollywood shit when they were both like co-owners but they for real had a for real feud.
Didn't that feud run? What was it? Brigitte, right? She was in. Was she in Red Sonja?
Yeah, no. Arnold slept with her in Red Sonja, but he
100%.
No, he says in the book 100 straight up. But he says he slept with her in Red Sonja. That means
him and Flavor Flav
and Stallone are Eskimo brothers, which is weird.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we thought Carl Weathers was the one that bridged that gap.
Yeah, nope. It was Red Sonja. Are you serious? So, anyway, back to twins.
So there's a scene.
Is this when we get introduced to Danny DeVito?
This is almost. Yeah, we had to mention the scene that they casually run into each other before they find each other. Yeah, and they both like are scratching their ass with the same hand on the same side.
I really enjoyed that play too that they kept doing where they would just periodically do the same thing.
Yeah, putting their napkins in the same way, and like turning their plates the same way.
Cups and plates.
Yeah. It was really
Smart
cool.
Cinema. Enjoyed
like
that.
Chris said, it's an 80s trope, that twins had. I mean, people still believe it to this very day. Like they still.
It's on G.I. Joe. It's got to be true,
dude. There's some sort of.
I talked about those twins I went to school with on the Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's true because one wouldn't kick the other one in the nuts if he knew he was going to feel it.
I mean, maybe one of them. I don't know. Maybe if the one twin inflicts pain on the other. I don't know. Anyway,
and so so Arnold. There's one final funny scene where there's a guy on a motorcycle tries to jack Arnold's bag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and that dude
so
just he drives by, he tries to grab his like briefcase, and Arnold's so strong without even trying, like rips the dude off the bike. The dude just eats shit. He tucked his chin though. I watched it a couple times. Great shit.
I was going to ask you about that because it does look like he hits his head.
He tucked his chin. He looked solid on that bump. Good job, whatever your stuntman's name was.
Well done.
And then Arnold, like,
he's so innocent,
I like these clever lines. Like he says, the pavement was his enemy.
Yeah. No. And then he like starts checking him out.
Nothing.
And he's like, I need to carry him to the hospital. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like inspecting him. He goes, uh-oh.
Yeah, I know.
He found a little uh-oh.
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
found it. But then,
so you get your treaty. You kind of understand that like Arnold's innocent, and that's kind of what like he didn't realize that he was being robbed.
Yeah,
Right,
like innocent to a fault.
Yeah,
to
and
a
then so
fault.
then
It's
it
just
flips to
stupid.
like the Danny DeVito kind of montage of him sleeping with another dude's wife. Which, by the way, this stuntman cut is so. I have it in my notes. It's so funny. You watch. Danny does the stuntman does all this, comes out of the window, comes down, and then it does the cutaway and the cutback where he like goes like he just jumped down from a window or some shit. Like it's such an obvious, but I fucking love it.
I think it's funny that DeVito is like always. Let's just call him Vincent. Vincent is always he's like bullshitting his way into sleeping with women.
Yeah, man, he's just a womanizer.
Like anytime I could, like it cuts to him like in the beginning of a scene or something. Like there's one where he's like leaving an elevator and he's talking to the chick. He's like, "All right, so I'll call you Saturday." Like he's already like talked his way into to some more trim.
Yeah, he's sleeping with a dude's wife out of the gate. Like he's got the girl that's his main girl in there. He ends up kissing his like secretary or whatever. She gets him a gift. She's working for free, as you find out.
Yeah.
Also, a little Easter egg for all of you wrestling fans out there on Danny DeVito's office on the wall, which we'll get there after. Like he's got to jack a car because you find out he's in debt. He's got to pay some money back. But on his wall in his office is a Road Warriors poster. Animal Hawk and Mr. Paul Ellering. The wrestlers.
I wonder what the backstory with that is. Like, whose poster is that? I wonder.
That's got to be somebody that's just a big wrestling fan and just threw it up.
Do it in there.
Or they found it in the trash and put it up. I don't know.
Yeah,
Was LaFour's? He was never a wrestler, right?
No.
Just a football player, I think, right?
He was a bodybuilder, right?
Bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Mm.
But so
bodybuilder and powerlifter, I think.
Also, didn't realize that because he's got this racket worked out. This is part of the front of it, isn't it? The racket he has with the stolen cars.
Yeah, so so Danny DeVito's character Vince is just a piece of shit. He smokes, cusses, drinks, opening scene he's committing adultery, gambles, lies, and you pretty much it moves quick, but
I'm
you
down
find
with
out
most of that.
Yeah, you realize that he's involved in some sort of like either it's a bookie or he owes money
He owns
he owes money to like a mob, but it's like a family mob, right?
Yeah,
so
I figured it's just some loan sharks.
that's exactly what I thought. Like
Yeah,
either
same
he was in deep or he had some gambling debts or something.
Oh
but-
man, how good would it have been if the guy that they sent to break his thumb was Rocky?
That would have been sick, dude.
I should have broke your thumb.
So yeah, so Danny DeVito steals cars on
Del
the side.
Taco. How do you spell Del Taco?
Yeah.
He's got an inside man in this parking garage, and that guy calls him when there's like a really nice car that was parked there, and it's like an overnight or a multiple day parking garage for people that are like flying, right? So the cars are gonna be there for a really long time. So it's
And that
easy to
person
steal.
is fucking David Caruso. I had no idea until I looked that shit up. That's such a young David Caruso, which he did. Which is it NCIS or whatever the fuck, one of those shows. Like,
Yeah, it was like I think it's the fifth 13th one.
Yeah, but anyway, he was like the main guy on that, and like obviously years and years later. But I was like, holy shit, it's like Baby Caruso.
Here, be David Caruso in Jade.
Thank you.
So Danny DeVito steals some cars, and he basically, ironically, he doesn't get arrested for that. Like he
gets arrested for parking.
He gets
tickets,
away
like.
with it. Yeah, he has an expired license and parking tickets, and
they were just and they were just going to give him a ticket for parking in a handicapped place.
Yeah,
he goes up to the cop and he's like,
"So do I look normal to you?"
And then he's walking away and he's like, "Handicap my ass." And then the cop gets mad and he's like, "I'm gonna need your license." Then
he has a suspended license or whatever. He goes.
So he goes in, and he goes to the Slammer, and that's of course where he finally
like MC
Arnold
Hammer.
and him. Yes, where finally him and Arnold meet is in
And
prison.
what's funny is like because Arnold goes to like starts to track him down. He goes to the nun, you know, like. And did you know that nun is Happy Gilmore's grandma?
Yep, I noticed that today.
Yeah, I noticed that today as well. Like when I went and rewatched it, I was like, "Holy shit!"
And side note to that, she still looks old as fuck, man. Was she like 98 years old and Happy Gilmore? What was that, dude?
What, you know what? Funny you should say that. The guy that played
She's
Arnold,
too old.
The guy that played one of Arnold's dads, I think the character's name is Granger. He was like an old like cowboy actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he did like some John Wayne type movies. I think maybe some even with John Wayne.
Wow.
So that dude, I mean, you remember how he looked then? Like he looked like a grandfather, I guess,
Right.
but in good shape. That dude didn't die until 2016.
Holy shit!
He was 91.
Damn.
Good for him, man.
So
Wow. Take care of yourself. While Vincent's rotting in jail, Arnold's still looking for him, and he does go to the orphanage, finds out that, Danny DeVito didn't have like a normal upbringing. He's starting to figure out
He wasn't on Paradise and raised by like with all the finest fruits and vegetables and meats
eating
and
mangoes
cheeses.
and washing his hair with berries and
did
shit.
you catch the nuns talking about he looked happy in that picture because he was next to his biology teacher?
Yeah.
Which he, I can't remember what word she used, but basically, desecrated.
Yeah, and he
And
mentions it later on, right? When they talk about
Julius,
Julius losing his virginity, and then he's just like Danny with a throwback to that says, I was a nun. Like, like I was like, whoa.
She disgraced Sister Marianne.
Disgrace.
Yeah, so I mean, like they really they kept that joke running because that was way later on in the movie. You gotta pay attention to pick that one up.
The plot is really succinct. It's not just the comedy. Like everything, like fits. It actually fits and goes somewhere.
Like I'm not going to say that like one person was better in this than the other because they were both so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
But like Danny, his delivery on simple lines is so good, man.
His facials, I noticed too. Like I noticed that a lot, and like just because of wrestling, but like his facials when he like is irritated with Arnold, and then he goes to the come on, buddy. Like like when he's gonna when he's like you getting in the car, like that face tells you so much. Like the way that he can convey that emotion or whatever. He's just phenomenal.
He's got good puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, man. And by the way, shout out Always Sunny. Fucking still rocking it, baby.
And, I banged her.
Danny, man.
Shout out, man. How old is he? Speaking of old people,
Let's not
He's
look it
got
up. Let's just understand that he's going to live forever, and let's keep going on with life.
Understood. So Julius meets him. We're treated to that hilarious scene where they first meet each other, and they're on opposite ends, obviously, of the glass and with the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still a thing now.
So right before that, though, Arnold is waiting or Julius is waiting for Vincent to come in there, and you see this like big, tall, like muscular guy.
Yeah.
And he stands up more straight, like he's ready to meet the guy, and he just like walks on past.
Yeah.
And he's like, his eyes are like following that guy, and then he turns back around, and Vincent is standing in front of him at the glass, and he's like,
I know, and that's what's great too is like You get another gratuitous calf shot in this scene because I just keep remembering him because he walks away to make sure that that's Vincent, and then he comes back, all
so veiny,
dude. And Arnold flexed a little bit right for the camera cut. I saw it. It went boom. Little hearts.
Yeah, he worked hard, man.
Upside down hearts.
Hard.
Good for you, Arnold.
So yeah, we do finally get the scene, and it's like Shadow's already mentioned. The jokes are clearly this is the money shot for seeing these two together for the first time. That everyone's laughing in the theater.
I have rode halfway across the world. No, wrong. I just rode a day, but
everyone's laughing at at home. If you've never seen it, this is the moment where you're just like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen. There's no way Danny DeVito and Arnold are twins.
Right.
Like, how is this supposed to happen? Because it doesn't explain it.
No.
Like, you just know that, so you're thinking, nah.
But then eventually it does explain it. We'll get to it, but it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. It's actually an insanely good story. And so it doesn't take long for Vincent to trick Julius into bailing him out of prison.
Yeah, he wants nothing to do with him. Thinks he's crazy until he finds out he has some money, and then it's like the shyster is back, and you see his eyes light up. Like, okay, again, another great facial by Danny DeVito. Like, just opportunity and seizing it. So
Danny DeVito just ditches as soon as he gets bailed out of jail. Just ditches Arnold, and Arnold's so innocent and stupid. Like.
Another great thing too is like Arnold knows what car is his because of their twins, because of what G.I. Joe taught us.
Didn't even catch that one.
So Arnold, he's like, how'd you know that was my car? And he's like, you're my twin brother. Like, he just keeps saying it. Like, we're brothers. So,
dude,
like you said, Danny DeVito just ditches him after he gets bailed out of jail. He's going back to his office.
Yup, and that's where the Claim brothers, the Claim boys,
they come.
Finally, they find Vincent and just start beating the shit out of him basically because he owes them a bunch of money. Evidently, 20 grand.
And I'm hoping, Shadwick, that you have the three crisis situation.
And the first rule in a crisis situation: you negotiate first. And you attack last. The second rule in a crisis situation.
Uh-oh. He's starting that funny talk again.
If you choose to bluff, you must be prepared to have your bluff called. Oh, wait a minute. You forgot the third rule in a crisis situation.
The third rule. But what's the third rule?
It turns out that, like I said, Vincent owes him money, and then so Arnold was forced to thrash the ever-living shit out of a guy who's not too much smaller than Arnold.
Like a fucking Vulcan nerve pinch, like out of the gate to get the guy crippled, and then how about that? Like somebody's talking to you while they kick your ass and telling you everything you're doing wrong.
Yeah, because Arnold's just a superior human being, man. He was genetically bred.
He hates violence.
He hates it, dude. He'd rather study philosophy.
But he's so good at it.
I know. That's what Danny DeVito says. So anyway, he gets him out of trouble with his bookie.
He beats this dude's ass and he throws him. At first, he
into an elevator.
Yeah, he hits him like in the chest and knocks him into the elevator. And one of my favorite lines is just you see DeVito's head, like he comes out in the view and he goes,
"Ooh, little chest pain."
That's a funny point. Danny DeVito's talking shit the whole time to that guy. Yeah, like Arnold's beating him to death, and so he kind of respects Arnold a little bit. Obviously, he saved him from a beating, possibly to death.
But it's like the story is like he can get something out of Arnold, so now he's gonna keep him around. It doesn't take him long. He's a bodyguard.
Dude, it doesn't take him long to convince Arnold to help him fucking steal another car. It's no time at all. They immediately go straight there. And
this is where the plot gets like super duper convoluted, but like these people drop a car off and the car has something in the back. It's a nice car. Like I don't even remember what the fuck it was. There's something in the back.
It was like a revolutionary jet engine.
It's got this jet engine in the back. System. These dudes drop it off. They wipe their prints off. Then there's supposed to be another driver that comes, and this guy does this professionally. Was going to drive it across town, go make a fucking bank load of money for dropping off this engine that these dudes shysted away. And so, unbeknownst to Mr. DeVito, or to Julius And Vincent, who
just wants the car.
They just want the car so they can sell it and pay off his debt. This whole engine's in there, and now they've just gotten themselves into a whole can of worms.
Right. So they steal the car, and Arnold has to drive Vincent's car. Of course, he's never driven before, and he reads through the manual because he's the smartest guy alive and huge and like just amazing.
Yeah, he's got the manual open, and he's like doing the. I can't lift my finger, but he's doing like the. The quick.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What are you doing?"
Learning to drive.
Yeah, and so they decide. So then we're treated to the scene where Arnold is attempting to drive for the first time, and it's a disaster at first, but he eventually figures it out.
He does what everyone always does too, like the start and stop, like the out of the gate, the rock or whatever. It's just funny.
Yeah, because there's two pedals, and you're when you're a kid, you think, well, there's two pedals, and I have 2 feet.
Yep, exactly.
You know, why wouldn't you? So
I had completely forgotten about this, but the car that he's driving is a Fox body Mustang GT convertible.
Damn.
I don't know what year exactly, but what year was this movie? 88, 89?
88.
88. So
1988.
So that body saw was like that was prime time. I think it was from like I don't know 84 to 93, I think.
Yeah.
But I had that car when I was 15. My parents bought one for me. And we lived in a neighborhood.
Like Vincent's car?
Yeah, the red Mustang.
Oh, shit.
So I had one of those because my dad had a little like used car dealership when I was in high school.
My dad owns this dealership.
I know.
And
he decided you needed a pussy mobile. Is that how the story is?
He's like this.
You're not getting nearly enough trim, Shaddy.
He's like this kid's
Shaddy. Yes.
It's like this kid's going to be. He's like, this kid's going to be awkward. I know it. We're going to have to give him some help.
Yeah.
But so they had bought this car for me when I was 15, and it was like, well, you'll learn to drive it, your learner's permit or whatever, and then we'll let you have it when you're 16. So we had it the summer before I turned 16. While they were going to work during the summer, I would get out and drive it in the neighborhood.
Does the story end with you being on 2 fucking wheels like Arnold was? On the side?
I mean, not that extreme.
Close?
But there was a part in the neighborhood where like it was a sharp turn back to the left. Like the road came up and ended, and you had to turn sharp. And I kind of lost control of it, and I went through the grassy median.
Oh God, dude!
And I didn't wreck it or anything. But
how paranoid were you? Did you have some grass stains on tires and shit that you had to clean off so they wouldn't know?
Yeah.
Or did you Ferris Bueller the mileage off the back?
No, I was meticulous on keeping it clean.
Nice.
But what screwed me though was I was taking like other kids like for rides, and that somehow
little rats, dude.
Somehow got back to my parents, and they're like, "Oh, well, if you're doing that, you definitely don't need this car."
Damn, they got rid of the car?
Damn. Yeah, they got rid of the car.
No.
Yeah.
Why is this turn into the saddest story I've ever heard in my life?
Dude, you had to get pussy the old-fashioned way on a bicycle?
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you meant on the
order
internet.
it.
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Yeah, pay for it.
That reminds me of when Chris got busted for fucking burning a spider with a fucking gasoline.
Yeah, Mom, if you watch this, I may have emptied out about half a can of gasoline in a garage to kill a giant spider.
Which is a tragedy right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I assisted him every step of the way.
You just wasted $40 to kill a spider?
My mom came home and she's like, "Why does it smell like gas in here?" And I purposely went and overfilled the lawnmower to make it look like I overfilled it. Like
because he was gonna mow because mowing the grass was his responsibility. So he basically told them, "Yeah, well, I was gonna mow the lawn,
and I
overfilled it."
My mom, shout out Mom, she knew. She was like, "What did you do? You did something." And then she was like, "What were you doing with gas in here? That's dangerous. You're gonna burn the house down." And I was like, "It's just filling up the lawnmower." And then Dad's like, "Yeah, you can see where it spilled over here. He's fine."
Did your brother sell you out?
No one sold me out. And my mom,
No
when she
one.
watches this podcast, she will finally know that yes,
She knows
Mom,
the
I
truth.
was using gas to douse the walls of our basement to kill a spider.
The basement was covered with gasoline and fire. I saw it. It was it was set ablaze.
If we're coming clean, when I did turn 16, it was a fucking awful downgrade from Mustang GT. They gave me a Nissan 240 SX, I think. And the day that I turned 16, I drove to work, or I drove to school. Some people rode home with me, and it had been raining a little bit. We were going over a hill, and the road to turn back to our neighborhood was like going to the right, but it was like slanted.
Yeah.
So I kind of like slid diagonally with that car just because I was trying to turn too fast, and I hit this little embankment and the stop sign, so the fender was like flared out, and the blinker.
You got to a fender bender?
Oh man, another fender bender, man.
The blinker was hanging loose.
Jesus
right?
Christ!
So I go and park.
What was your lie? Get to the good part.
So I go and I park it in the garage, and thankfully, where I parked, that side was hidden. So that night,
some time.
I had a tennis lesson, and I left early and went by my buddy's house. His brother used to like work on cars and put in like car stereos and shit, and he had a heat gun and heated the fender up and like pushed it back in place.
Damn, dude!
No way.
Put the blinker.
Fixed it.
Put the blinker back on there, and there was like just a tiny little green smudge from the stop sign.
Yeah.
And I got that like cleaned off to where it was passable, and they never knew.
Wow. That's a good story.
My God, dude, that's beautiful, dude.
Man, you had
maybe y'all
you
twins,
had some
dude.
connections, bro. Hey, anybody in the comments, you got a crazy story that you didn't tell your parents? Drop it in the comments section or on
We're
Twitter,
coming clean on this
Instagram.
podcast.
We're on Spotify. Fuck it, we're on everything, baby.
They're not going to comment. They never comment.
Now, Shaddy.
Oh,
Don't be
Shaddy,
like that.
come on.
Shaddy, no! Dude, you're making Shaddy sad, y'all. Come on.
Come on,
Let's
give us
get
some
this
comments. Yeah.
Give us some comments. Say something, dadgummit.
What were we talking?
Shad was getting angry.
Yeah, what was this movie again?
I don't know, man.
Anyways, so back to twins, man. So
Yeah,
this
drink
is
your
actually
IPA.
this is one of my favorite part, man. Is you know, obviously you talked about the two-wheel, you know, in the parking lot, which which by the way, this is no fault to Hollywood or Reichman or anybody. Go back and watch it now because everything's in HD, and you can see the stunt man, this fat fucking guy in the front, like on the two wheels doing it. Definitely not Arnold.
Did not make a comment on that, but noticed it too, and that shit was so funny. I was in tears. I'm like, that's not Arnold.
It's
I was
so
like, that's
funny.
fucking
I mean, I know you
Carl,
got to do
dude.
what you got to do, but it was just funny because back then, you know, you can get away with it because you weren't HD on everything. But
yeah,
this is
it's
when
really bad.
we get introduced to my crush in this movie.
Yes,
Mrs. Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston.
And she's playing a character named Marnie. How fucking terrible is the name Marnie?
Only the
I'm gonna be
name
honest
probably
with you.
worse than that, Sheila.
That is
Shout out Ted.
I'm just gonna come full disclosure too here and say that up until I watched this recently, like a week ago when I watched Twins again, I thought her name was Marty. Marty.
I thought that for a long time
did
too.
too.
I'm 45 years old and I just figured out.
Not
that
an
it is
advocate. I'm gonna just full disclosure. Not a big advocate for closed captioning, but also closed captioning saved me on this one. So thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Marnie is her name.
Chris, I thought for sure you got that from Mr. Skin.
No, no. I mean, yes, but shh. All right. Well, I'm not.
So I don't know.
I'm not coming completely clean on this. All right.
Oh yeah.
Not yet. That's
Anyway,
later on, and
she
many beers
is
later.
gorgeous in this, and also
She is.
Let's talk about people smoking in movies in the '80s, baby. Passing a cig back and forth.
Dude, just
tell me what looks cooler than that, and the answer is nothing.
good old Marnie smoking a cigarette as she's like walking down the aisle, and she's hot as fuck. Chris is right, but she's got a sister named Melinda, and we haven't mentioned it before, but her and Vincent, played by Danny DeVito, have history. That's actually his de facto girlfriend, even though he's
one of his many
running. Yeah. Yes, one of his many, but like this one sort of seems to be the one that he kind of returns back to. You know, everybody has a bottom bitch, so this is
oh, it's just my bottom bitch.
I can't remember. I know there was like a small introduction to those two girls earlier in the movie.
Yeah, when he's running from the Fratelli brothers.
So honestly, if there was ever a scene that probably needed to be deleted, it was that one.
Yeah,
like, that
when
scene
he's like
kind of
hiding
doesn't
in the
fit.
restaurant and everything. Like,
yeah, and the first time we should have met those girls was right then, in my opinion, because it shows.
There's a scene somewhere, it may be in the store, where Marnie is talking about Vincent, and she says, "You know, all that poetry he writes, he was just old song lyrics."
I love that. Yeah,
I love it because there was a guy in high school that used to write Christie poetry all the time, and he was doing the same fucking thing.
Dude, there's an SNL skit about it too, like where like I forgot who the star was. Adam Sandler was doing it. He's reading Van Halen. Like, might as well jump. Like, you know, like,
right.
It's the same shit. I'm sure like a bazillion before the internet, before you could fact check shit, kids, you could definitely get away with that, and you could get away with it.
Yes, you could,
like in spades.
And let me tell you, people lied through their fucking teeth.
Absolutely,
we all did.
So he would that kid from high school would write those song lyrics to her, and then found out. I didn't know this until Christy and I started dating 7 or 8 years ago. I liked her in school, and I didn't know that they dated or he liked her or whatever. But I was like, I was friends with him. Like I told him that I liked her, and
you said, "You dirty dog."
I said, "You dirty dog."
And so I had written these notes for him to give to her.
No.
From me, right?
No.
And he just copied him verbatim.
This is a tragedy, dude.
Wow.
What's a tragedy, Shadwick?
Dude, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Like, if that dude ever got lucky with her, it was on my words. Can you believe that?
Imagine what could have been. I mean, I guess it worked out. You got Gavin out of it, so it's a win.
Yeah.
I have somebody I can talk sports with and a new friend. You basically created me a friend. Thanks.
Yeah.
Shout out Gavin. You'll never watch this.
The buck stops there.
And it didn't take 6 genetically superior fathers.
It just took one. Just chatty no. So
no more frothy ejaculate for me.
So they're in a store, and now you kind of get the fact that like Julius is like, oh wow, Marnie's hot.
Marnie's DTF for Arnold. I don't know why.
You know who she kind of reminds me of? Well, who reminds me of her would be Alicia Silverstone later on. There's a little bit of Alicia Silverstone in this movie.
Yeah, it's that kind of long, thin hair.
Yeah, it's just
it really. She does have an Alicia vibe. Although Alicia has
Alicia
weird,
has
fucking goofy facial expressions for some reason, which I.
And she also
figured out.
banged her stepbrother, which led to a whole Pornhub thing that's going on right now that we need to address at a later day.
I think we need to address it now.
We literally, absolutely derailed this entire podcast. Just talk about it right now. Fuck it.
It's in Clueless. Clueless. Paul Rudd is her stepbrother, and they hook up.
Oh,
they do?
God damn it! I thought you meant there was some.
No, not in real life.
There was
I don't think I've ever seen Clueless.
It's a solid movie, but I'm just saying that's where it started, and then Pornhub just recently. And by recently, I mean, you know what? I'm cutting all this. Let's just get back into the fucking movie.
How dare Paul Rudd like hook up with that tramp, man?
He's better than
that,
How
dude.
dare you? Look at us,
dude. I wonder if he was like. I wonder if he banged Alicia. He was like,
"You gonna take that dick?"
I want this. I'm fixing to fuck you. I'm fixing to fuck you.
I'm gonna have to
my
cut
dick's all up.
so
my
much.
dick's all up inside you.
Get this deal.
I'm gonna have to cut so much of this.
Just leave it in.
Do you think
Just
that,
leave it in?
And then, after he fucked her, Alicia Silverstone for
made
like
her
a
watch-
week. For like a week, she was like, "I've been trying to call you," and he's like, "Oh, drag, dude."
Yeah. When they got done, he just replayed that clip of Mac and Me.
In the wheelchair.
All right, so back to the movie that we're 5 minutes into.
This scene, okay, no, it goes faster after this. I swear, says the liar. So like basically what happens is this is another yet throwaway scene, except for these are gonna be reoccurring characters, right? The two girls. Right. Marnie is DTF for Arnold. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's fucking shredded.
Because he's a god.
And he's literally a Greek god with no flaws whatsoever, except for the fact that he's a little too innocent. But we rectify that by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And,
Vincent figures out one of his flaws. He's talking about how much he respects women.
He does.
He says that, and he turns around and he's like, "You're a virgin."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude. You know what? You know what's great about that scene?
That's private.
Absolutely. That right there. I've heard that so many times from people that were embarrassed about it. Look, man. Look, if you're in high school, you're probably a virgin. If you're in college, you're probably a virgin. Everyone's a virgin. I don't think anyone's had sex ever.
It's a myth.
Yeah. Chadwick's like. Chadwick's like,
this
maybe you
is
should
all
see
wrong.
He should go look at the end of the Tyson episode and see Chadwick's Rambo 3 numbers.
Yeah, they go back.
They get in the cars. Vincent gets in the Cadillac. Julius gets into the Mustang, and I think Vincent says like, "Away we go," and he drives off, and then Julius goes, "Away we go," and then he takes off backwards.
Oh, dude, which is the classic fucking.
So it's so funny.
Joke.
Like it's so funny that he goes backwards. But what's even like funnier to me is they let him drive completely out of a camera's view
frame.
And then you hear him like school of tires and he pulls back up.
Yeah, dude, that was
like if he had just stopped it like where he was just partially out of frame, it would have been funny, but not as funny.
Dude,
like,
that one going completely out of frame, and then like that was one of our old friends. Shout out Bill Jones from the movie theater days. That was like one of his favorite movie jokes. It was in Austin Powers. He did it like where he would shift and then look like he's going backwards and then pull forwards and then like those kind of jokes where it misdirected you where the car was gonna go. He would always like bust a gut at that, and which in turn made me bust a gut at those every single time. So
he was a fucking classy dude. I love Bill Jones. So that's the end of the grocery store car driving scene. We did finally make it through it. So we get they finally arrive back at Vincent's place, and they have finally their really first heart to heart where Arnold tries to convince them they're brothers, et cetera, et cetera. They kind of get to it, and then
this is when they first eat the dinner, right? Like, this is where you see some twin shit where they
the nuked food.
Yeah, so
I like nuked food.
Oh, I like nuked food.
They move their plate at the same time. They tuck the napkin in. Like these are like cinema gems, like that are just good.
Can't you just like feel the consistency of that lasagna?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I can taste the indigestion in my throat.
Yeah, and if you can't, just go to Fazoli's. That's what it is.
Hey, shout out Fazoli's. Sponsor our podcast.
So
I'll have some breadsticks.
All that shit's like blown out literally when the old Klain brothers toss a bomb through the window.
Fuck it, man. They just pack it,
Yeah, they're not done. They're not done with Vincent. They're letting you know that they're still there looking for their money.
Yep, those Fratelli brothers, they just don't give up, man, and they just continue to throw bombs through windows.
I know.
I'm just gonna keep calling them the Fratelli brothers.
Tonight is your night, bro.
It's perfectly fine.
Tonight is your night, bro.
We finally figure out in the movie the point that Chris already mentioned that there is indeed I call him a hitman. That was supposed to pick up the car that Vincent stole.
Right.
And so
is that Rutger Hauer?
No, that is Marshall Bell.
God, looks like.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Rutger Hauer? You
I'm
wanna fight about
100% positive. You know
Fight
why?
about it.
You know why I'm positive?
Why?
You know why I'm positive, Shadoway? Because he's the dude with the baby growing out of his belly in Total Recall.
That's right.
And
I
recognize that guy anywhere,
dude. Another thing that John T's wife called out when they watched Twins together, and he told me I forgot about that.
It might be 89.
Shout out to John T's wife, Jennifer. All right, go ahead.
Absolutely, shout out, because for 1990,
Don't
yeah,
get
he
me
plays in
started.
Total Recall in 1990. Marshall Bell, yeah, that's the guy, that's the hitman, and he's looking for his car, and Vincent has it, and he wants it back, and you don't know why at this point in time in the film. Like, you're just like, yo, this guy's really mean. So he goes to the guys that dropped it off, and he just fucking murders them.
He axes them because they saw his face, and then he puts two and two together, figures out David Caruso is the one that tipped him off. So now Caruso's fucked, and now he's on Vincent's trail, and so that's really where the core plot of this movie starts going.
Yeah, now we've actually hit the plot. Now there's no twin stuff happening at this particular moment.
Vincent listens to the recording now. He's looked in the trunk. He knows that he's got this space age engine or whatever the fuck it is.
But most importantly, he finds the tape.
Yep.
And the tape gives the exposition to let you know why this thing is so valuable. Or it doesn't even really talk too much about it, but basically there's a guy.
He gives him the number, right? Like, so he can call this dude.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
and
that dude's name is Beetroot.
His name is.
I mean, this goes with the shit stuck in my head this week.
I mean, I'll tell. Hey, that reminds me of
Yes.
that reminds me of something else that's hard to do if your dominant arm is
All
messed up.
right. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Should have been a drummer, bro.
I mean, like I said, wiping, shaving, washing your hair, beating your dick like it owes you money.
Shadow's actually assaulting his penis at this point. It's not even pleasurable.
Stranger in the tub is just like a warm caress. Going left, he's just like it's just like the gentle, warm hug of a woman.
Shadow looks at the baseball.
I need somebody.
He looks at the baseball coach that points to his left arm, calling him the lefty. And Shadow's like, never call him the lefty. Never call him the lefty.
Oh shit!
I can't hit off of him.
There's a reason, you know. Whew. All right, man.
So Vincent calls calls Beetroot McKinley, who's a Texan.
Yeah, of course.
And Beetroot basically tells him, "Hey, I don't care who you are or why you have the case or the car. You deliver that shit to me, and you getting $5 million." And that's, of course, all Vincent needs to hear.
Yeah, because Vincent had written down he was going to extort this dude for $20,000 until the guy says, whatever, the $5 million. And so,
if you can do better than $5 million, well then, son, you take it.
but also, I do love the stereotypical Texan that this guy is. Actor nails this for sure. Like, that is.
The guy's name was Trey Wilson. Was the character's name.
He did a good job though. Very good stereotypical asshole Texan. oil tycoon is what he came across as. So yeah.
So since this has been a clusterfuck, allow me to bring it all back in by giving you the synopsis of the plot. Right? Vincent steals a car.
Please.
This car has a valuable asset in the car. A rich Texan wants it. And he talks to Vincent and tells Vincent he'll pay him $5 million to deliver the car to Texas. Is it Dallas as they go to? I believe it's Dallas, Texas.
Houston, I thought.
And Houston? Okay, yeah. So somewhere in Texas. And there's a hitman who actually owns the car and wants, obviously, to get paid for the money for delivering
So not
the car.
only do you have the sketchy delivery of the merchandise, you have a hitman in pursuit. To top it all off, Julius tracks down his dad, one of his dads, My Two
Yes.
Dads. Shout out Eddie sitcom. That was probably terrible,
Shout out,
but I
shout
watched
out.
for some
That
reason.
was a terrible show.
Anyway, so he goes, talks to his dad with the picture of his mom, drops her name, and now he's starting to get some information. Hey, you need to go to this place, and they can tell you more about it.
And you know what? I meant to put more focus on it when I rewatched it today, because when I was trying to find the name of the actor that played his dad, I came across one of his son. I guess it's supposed to be his oldest son, was played by Tom Platz.
Really?
Yeah, and I've yet to go back to see him.
Like the kid, one of the kids.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing he was probably Arnold's age, right?
Okay.
If that guy was his dad, then
Yeah.
His son that he
Are you
raised
talking-
would be about the same age,
Yeah,
I guess.
I got you. Okay.
So yeah, when he pulls up at like this
That-
mansion type,
Yeah.
gated house or whatever,
Gotcha.
There's like a family, like they're all in the front yard.
Yep.
Grandpa, this man wants to talk to you.
So I guess one of them is Tom Platz, which
Wow.
which was a bodybuilder that was on Pumping Iron with Arnold.
So I'm coming day and night.
That's awesome, man.
Okay, that's wild.
Good little
That's
gem
actually
there.
wild.
So now Arnold finds out like where he can kind of go, like on Half Baked, like, hey, scientist. So he's gonna go find scientist.
And the scientist's name is Dr. Traven, and that's basically the man that orchestrated the experiment that created Arnold and Danny DeVito, and that led to their birth. So they're gonna go find out. They're gonna go Arnold wants to go find him to get some fucking answers about their existence and what's going on.
The two girls are gonna be in tow. And
Yeah. So Vincent tries to like just bail and leave Julius there, and as he's backing out, the girls like block him in.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's like, "You're leaving. You're not even going to tell me." So she kind of imposed. Yeah, she's very much a Linda. Like, she like just imposes
She is.
their.
She's not a
we're,
Sheila.
We're going with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Marnie. But
When she
so
basically blackmails him for all intents and purposes to get on the trip.
So then, it shows like they're all getting in the car, and there's that shot where like Arnold sticks his head into the back seat area, and you have like this like camera pan. It goes like up Kelly Preston's legs, and it just shows her like smiling at him.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time I knew what it was to love.
There was not a limp penis in the theater during that
she's
scene.
so
guaranteed.
fucking hot.
She
Good
was
actress
insane.
too. Like did a lot.
Yeah,
of stuff.
actually,
like
really good actress, but insanely hot scene.
just a small continuity issue here in this movie that I'm just gonna bring up. She walks in on Arnold in the shower.
He does.
Freshly shaved chest.
Before they leave, yes, freshly shaved.
When Arnold is changing shirts in the store, hairy chest. This guy saw it.
Really?
Ooh. Didn't
Don't
see
fuck
it.
with me on fellow chest shaver. I'm gonna pick that shit up. Just don't do it.
Did not
Where's
see
that?
it.
Wait, my note right here says the chest not shaved bothered me. Where's the continuity guy?
He's fired now. He'll never work in this fucking town again after this.
40 years later.
So where he's in the store, he's ripped. He tried to wear one of Vincent's shirts, but Marnie went to sleep on his shoulder, and instead of his dick getting hard, his bicep ripped the shirt.
I mean, as you do.
And
That's what happens when you work out.
So they go in the store, and I guess Vincent has not seen him yet with his shirt off.
Yeah, he says.
So he takes his shirt off like right in the middle, and I made some notes here. My dad, he will still like quote where he says,
"You all swelled up. You look like you're ready to explode."
Because of his muscles or whatever. Yeah. What's all those lumps on you?
What's all those lumps on
yeah, and then and just a couple more quotes from my dad. A lot. Anytime like we're talking about anything that's like million or billion, like the lottery tonight, I think he would be like, "It's $600 million." just say it, $600 million.
That's awesome.
So it's a good ass scene.
Yeah.
But that's like what's good about these movies and shit and us doing this podcast is you get to like relive shit like that, right? Like you don't realize like when you're growing up, you're probably like, God, Dad. But, like when you get older, you're like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
and my mom would like ask Dad to do something, and he'd go, "Why? Why?" like at the end where he's telling them they have to give the money back, and
right.
DeVito's like, "Why?
Why?" Yes.
Oh, sorry, spoiled it. Spoil the ending.
Yep.
We'll get to it. Everyone's lost anyway, so we'll wrap.
Well,
it up
if
with
you
it.
would stay on track.
Blame it on me. True. So yeah, so
Tonight is your night, bro.
We're on a road trip movie now. Like this movie shifts for the third or fourth time.
Oh, sorry. I'm not taking this away from it. They're starting the trip.
Yes.
And Vincent tells Linda like the real reason that they're leaving or whatever. But he says Julius wants us to go look up our ancestors like in Roots or something.
I mean, that's basically what he does, man. Yeah.
And thank you for your closed captions on that one because I just got that today.
Yeah, that was a mumble line. It's hard to pick up. But yeah.
That was a good one. And so we're on a duo trip kind of here. So Julius, played by Arnold, thinks that Vincent, played by Danny DeVito, is going on this road trip to basically look up their ancestors, their fathers.
He's not aware of the delivery, so
he doesn't understand what's happening. No one is except for Linda, who just is such a fucking stage 9 clinger that she just wants to be like with Danny DeVito's character.
But what happened to auction off that car for the children?
I mean, that's what he tells him. I believe that he's got to deliver it so that it can be auctioned. If I'm not mistaken,
that's right.
Does he
And
not say
Houston,
that?
Does he?
And then he says that.
He
like,
does.
Okay.
That
this
Mexico,
movie is flawless.
Yeah, the New Mexico is on the way to Houston. Like,
and so he's like, we'll
and
stop by.
Then
It's
like
not flawless. Why?
It's almost flawless. Besides the chest scene.
Why didn't they continue the research? Why was it one and done?
We
with
don't know.
Arnold?
There could be a twin 17 out there.
There could be. Maybe it wasn't.
Well,
Maybe and that dude was a fucking asshole. So I bet he lied anyways.
Dude,
remember? He gets
I got that
out
in my,
by a woman.
I got that in my notes. Why was he like such a dickhead to Vincent, like straight out of the gate?
That's a good question, but you know what? They actually cover that too. Everyone that tells, like, as they're going on this road trip, like one of Arnold's fathers tells him he's a gigantic dickhead. Like basically, he says he's basically just an asshole.
Yeah.
For no reason. And so when they meet him, he is an asshole for some unknown reason, but it's covered previously. It's not just thrown at you, right? Like it's in the script. Like everything.
So when they finally,
you don't know why.
Hey,
dickhead.
Yeah. So when they find him. When they find him and he's just like shuns them, like so they go to this place to find scientists
him, on the road trip.
Yeah, on the road trip. So they actually, Vincent stops and they're gonna go see because Vincent's like, we'll see. And so dude won't even talk to him, says bullshit. Arnold is like pissed off.
And he drags Vincent down the hall.
Yeah, and then he kicks the fucking door to this dude's office that they just
pissed off.
Julius, don't do this to me. I got a car to deliver. The last thing I need is a detour in the slammer.
Make him tell us the truth.
No!
Hey! That's our mother. Those are our 6 fathers. That's Werner. And that is you.
Got kicked out of.
It looks like it's just been blown up by a SWAT team.
And Vincent is just like, God, because he knows he's got to make this drop and he's about to go to jail and his whole thing is about to be blown up. He's like, don't get us sent to jail. Like, but as soon as he kicks the door down, that's when the dude realizes like who Julius is. And he's like, oh shit, like it's him. And then, then he spills the fucking beans. And what does he say about Vincent? What was Vincent?
He was a leftover crap. All the purity and strength went into Julius, and all the crap that was left over is what you look at in the mirror every morning.
So we're back to the.
I'm like, what?
Wow.
I mean, fucking guns firing.
Yeah. Jesus.
But that's it, though. It's like that's a really, 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 really important moment for multiple reasons, and I'm sure we'll go into it. But we're back to the science fiction part of it, right? So evidently, the embryo that created Arnold and Vincent.
Perfect embryo.
The perfect embryo split unevenly.
Right.
So it wasn't like they both got 50-50. No, like all of the genetic improvements and the technology and all the stuff they were developing went into Arnold. And basically there was a residual garbage amount of DNA that went into creating Danny DeVito.
Dude.
In this moment, Danny DeVito realizes his entire life basically had no chance from the
predetermined
get-go.
that he was going to be what he was.
Yeah, there's a loser. As someone who was in an orphanage, didn't have any parents, just ugly, short, like unattractive, crude.
But then
the worst of the worst.
But so he's taking that news hard. They go out in the parking lot, and then Arnold like gives him this like decent speech about basically nurture over nature. Like 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 look, like you grew up thinking that you couldn't trust anyone. No one was ever there for you. You know, never had love, never had protection. So. Like that's more of what's made you the person you are instead of just your genetic makeup or whatever.
Yes,
and he like snaps him out of it. Like snaps, you know.
And I'm glad Chadwick mentioned that because that's what it is. That's actually what it is that Arnold's like, you're still in control of your life.
Right.
Like you've made choices that made your life better. You can continue to make good choices. And at the heart is, what this movie is sort of about as far as Vincent's character is concerned, that he's been, this garbage human being, but a lot of that was his own doing.
Yeah,
it didn't have to do with his genetics, right? Or how he was made.
So the reason I mentioned why didn't they like carry on with that research, that doctor tells him like, we sealed this room off 35 years ago, whatever, and they opened it up and he like brushes away the cobwebs and so it was.
Do you
like
think it's
because
the byproduct that was Vincent? Maybe the experiment didn't go as planned, and then
maybe that's why that dude hates him so much.
Yeah, so he just scrapped it because that dude fucked up his entire research or whatever.
That's actually what I was going to say.
Ejaculate.
I was going to say. I was going to. Yeah, because I was going to say it.
Yeah.
Even David calls it a sperm milkshake. Like,
so this is where you make the milkshake, huh?
This episode is just going to be called Twins episode, in parentheses, the frothy ejaculate one.
I'm good with it.
YouTube was like,
there was no
way. We get that tender moment, like where Arnold's basically like, it's not over, and Vincent changes. Like,
he does.
This moment.
And now he's
ready.
Now he's like, yeah, dude, let's go find her mom.
Yeah, so it's all true. So this is the moment also, like, Vincent was a skeptic of this entire story, and now he realizes that it's true. Like this is his
fucking brother. This is his brother.
This is his brother. Arnold Schwarzenegger
can feel everything he feels.
Yes, they are brothers, and
Chris,
things.
Am I shit-faced yet?
Am I shit-faced yet?
There it is, and they decide to continue the quest they postpone delivering the car, and they decide to go on the quest to find their mom at this point in time, because the doctor, whatever his name is, decides.
Dr. Dickhead?
Yeah, Dr. Dickhead tells them where their mother is, that she's still alive, and she's in some weird fucking communist commune painting and shit, and go find her. It
was called Elysium, and it's it gives you my dicks.
So they go to the that fucking shit. My wife and I quote that all the fucking time, dude. For those of you who don't know, that Paul Rudd line is from fucking Wonderlust.
It'll be in here 1,000 times.
We saw that. Yeah, just fucking spam. It's one that needs to be in our permanent repertoire. But
Leaf, I'd like to take a break to mention one of our sponsors. Mike Tyson Bites.
Allegedly, that's ignorant.
Again, we learned today that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have inked a deal to fight in July.
Mm-hmm.
And
let's go,
baby!
I can't wait.
I think I have the press conference video from what was Mike Tyson was quoted saying.
I bet that tastes
good. What he
good
said about Jake Paul. So let's fucking go.
I can't wait. Eat him up, dude.
Dude, hell yeah! Get that mic bite, baby.
Can we get a review of the mic bites right fast? What do we got?
Dude, they actually taste really good.
They're good.
So you're saying that mic bite?
Watermelon.
I bet that tastes good.
I think that's what he said when he saw Brad Pitt at his house with Robin Givens.
Dude, I bet that is what Mike Tyson said.
Like, I didn't know whether to fight him or fuck him.
Yep. So he did both.
Good on you, Mike. This is where a movie yet again takes like a fourth turn here.
Yeah.
Like now we're in sort of like this buddy comedy like phase of the film.
Like they're
Danny
getting
DeVito
along. The
Danny
two
DeVito's
girls.
turning around.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's with it. He's with this finally after all this time. Like Vincent's his brother. Let's teach my brother. Like because up until right now, Arnold doesn't know how to do anything, and this is where Vincent shines. Vincent's like, okay, I'm not garbage, right? Like, let me show you what I've learned through living in the real world.
Well, like garbage or a piece of shit?
Yeah. So we get the famous scene where they're dressed exactly the same.
That suit, those suits, baby.
It's so cool, man. They're walking the same, dude. Like they're teaching, like Vincent's teaching them how to walk.
Yeah. Get a little
Dude,
swag.
He says he's telling him you need to walk like you're listening to music.
Yeah.
And he names off a bunch of like black artists like Otis Redding, like 4 or 5, and he goes, and a couple of white guys.
Yeah. People that were loose that had a funk, man,
dude,
in their souls.
A little swagger.
Dude, exactly. And so you get that famous scene. This is the scene everyone you'll see it everywhere. If you haven't watched the movie,
gift to death. Yeah.
You would still see the scene to this very day. And they're walking together, and then we get to
and the suits are terrible, by the way.
Dude, I fucking loved them.
The suits, the shoes, like
I agree with both of you.
Yeah,
they're awful, but I fucking love
Arnold
them too.
can fucking wear the hell out of a suit. So can Danny.
Absolutely.
I mean, fuck. These dudes are in Hollywood and they fuck.
I'm telling you from experience and from multiple women that I've spoken to. Every man looks better in a suit. A suit that fits. You can't just buy a suit like off the rack. It's got to fit. But they got their shit tailored. So you have that scene, and then Vincent. So they're gonna go out on a fancy date with their girls. Vincent and we find out Julius. Tonight
is your night, bro.
Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro.
Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night, bro.
Tonight is your night, bro.
That scene when they're in the hotel. Also, the actual carpet in the hotels back then. It's kind of wild to see actual carpet in a hotel, not the fucking movie theater carpet that's in there now.
I'm glad they moved. I'm glad they moved away from carpet in hotels.
Yeah, me too. But the excitement on Vincent for fucking Julius that he's getting laid tonight, and Julius is fucking a ball of nerves, and he knows. Dude,
let me say something, and this is as close as an idiot, unless you've actually had a twin or maybe even like a younger brother. This is that moment. Like if you have a tight friend group, let me explain to you what this is like. This is when your younger boy who hasn't done anything, maybe he's not had any experiences, he hasn't drank his first beer, whatever it is. This is that moment where you get to kind of coach and guide him into manhood, into something you know something about. You're bringing one of your boys into the fold.
You get to Customato, you get to Bill Walsh, you get to Mickey this motherfucker. Like, let's go, you know?
Dude, Chris and I have had multiple of those moments. We've ruined our friends' lives, ladies and gentlemen.
We're like, this is called a beer.
I always brought them back, though.
Yeah.
This gives you confidence. It makes you more attractive. It makes you a better dancer. It's a magic elixir. Try it.
Yeah.
Booze of the week.
And Chris is like, what?
Get out of the street, you fucking bum.
And Chris is like, what? Chris is like, what, you never done coke before?
Sometime your heart start up again.
Just need a little bump.
Yeah, that's basically what we are to our friends. But this moment is that. Anybody has experienced that in life, like, I get his joy because, like, you're stoked. Like, you're like, all right, man, my homeboy's going to drink his first beer. He's about to go hook up with this girl. Like, let's go run.
Teach you the ropes.
Let's go run wing for this dude. And
you know what? You did it for me, Chris, in Atlanta one time.
Gotcha.
I got hammered, and I had thrown up a little bit, and that shit was caught up in my sinuses, and it kept on choking me. And we're like walking downtown Atlanta. We're walking like over an overpass, and you're like, just do Snot Rocket, dude. And I'm like, I knew what it was, but I'd never done it because it's fucking gross.
It's terrible.
But
it's absolutely reviving.
But I shot a couple Snot Rockets off the bridge there, and it was game on again.
Hey,
so
that's what I'm here to teach. That's what I was put on the site for.
You're the rally king. Yeah, you're absolutely the rally king. Congratulations. Yeah,
you are the rally king.
Yeah.
That moment when you see your boys, you want your boy to succeed. You're going to run wingman. You're teaching him the ropes.
Yeah,
you're telling him what to do, what to expect. This is that moment we get with Danny DeVito because Arnold has everything, right? Like, Arnold is the superior human being,
but he's out of his element now.
He's out of his element, and he lacks experience, and experience fucking matters.
Yep.
And he wants some hot pussy from Marty.
And he doesn't even know. He has to ask.
Yeah.
Am I shit-faced yet?
Yeah, no, like, dude, I love that. As probably 3 guys with borderline alcoholism that broadcast a show to the masses, I gotta say,
it's not poison. It's got juice in it.
It warms my heart to see that. I'm like, yes, like he's because I remember my first buzz. Like I remember my first beer. Like like when your friends are drinking and they're finally like, I'm starting to like. Dude, me and Leaf had an old roommate, old Jack.
Old Jack's an odd duck, I tell you. Many times I catch him staring at me sleeping, which is off-putting.
No, I love Jack. No, I love Jack. But Jack, I remember we got drunk off scotch one time, and Jack did the same thing where he was like, I think I'm drunk. And I was like, there you are, buddy.
Old Jack didn't have a shed. He didn't live in a shed and have a pet squirrel, did he?
No, it was not that Jack.
No. This was not the same Jack.
But yeah, man. But like seeing that with like some younger friends or whatever,
there.
when they start getting that first like fun buzz, or they,
this
you're
is
like,
just a great scene.
And Danny's
like
Vince is so happy, dancing around. Tonight is your night.
He's dancing, and he teaches Julius how to dance.
Yep.
And he teaches him what to say. He teaches him like how to get some ass from Marty, whatever her fucking name is.
Morty.
Right? And they go out to the country line dance.
Yeah, dude.
They go to this country line dancing bar or whatever it is, which is just everything about this movie is fish out of water.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Everything, man. Shit. Every part
that's where I'm going.
movie.
Shit.
So here they are, country dancing, like dipping their girls. Remember that one scene where they do it at the same time. Here's the twins thing, right? They do the same, like they dip their girls at the same.
They spin them off and they do the pelvic thrust at the same time.
At the same.
That if you go watch it back again, you hear the crowd cheer when it happens. Like, the crowd's like, yes.
They give them the little bull grunt too with the thrust. They're like.
Yeah.
It's such a good scene, dude. Oh,
and then what happens?
You know what that always made me think of the Three Amigos.
Yeah. And then, but what sucks here is like, and then the Fratelli brothers show up again. And
the Klain brothers
with
and their cousins.
With Sam Kinison.
So the gangsters. So it's also tracking them.
It's not the Fratellis. It's the Klain brothers. This time they brought a couple of their cousins, and I didn't catch the second one, but
Sam and LaFours.
LaFours, yeah. Leaf pointed that out the other day.
How wild is that?
I watched that movie so many times.
Same here, and like
never picked up on it.
So shout out, I don't know, Leaf, if you're watching this. Shout out to you for picking up.
I'm editing some of this.
Yeah, shout out to you for picking up. The little Floors was in that, man, from Mallrats and from Arnold's old, like, bodybuilding buddy.
Yes. So if you're a Mallrats fan, LaFours is in this. momentarily, just like he was in Mallrats.
Absolutely.
Bit part maybe, but the cousins Sam, the Klein brothers, and LaFours all catch a fucking beat down from Arnold again.
Yep.
They move too soon, as Shattuck is fond of saying, and he basically thrashes him. This time they brought a gun, but it doesn't even matter. They still got their
None of
asses
this matters.
absolutely waxed, dude. And I'm not even gonna mention. All right, fuck it, I'll mention it. Before this, like they have a run-in with the hitman, and he like shoots one of them.
Yeah, that's
Like,
Klein
two or three of them.
Yeah, he
right?
shoots him in the leg, so that's when they show up in here. Like, but like that's what's kind of like he murders the other dudes because they saw his face, but he lets these guys live for some reason.
Well, they don't know. Like those other guys, were his.
Oh, that's right, because he saw his face.
Associates or what? Yeah, they knew. Yeah, Shattuck's
Client,
right. They
clients.
knew.
Quaid.
They knew what he was and what he did. He was just a stranger to the Klein brothers. Quaid, start the reactor.
So he cleans house. Arnold
cleans house.
Vince
I'm
Julius
loving it.
cleans house. Like kicks ass, and we are on.
We're
back to the.
And
We're
then
back to the hotel for the sex scenes.
I think Vincent disposes of one of the guys with a bass guitar, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does hit him with a guitar.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so they literally beat the fucking Klein
So
brothers
what else?
and their
What
cousins
else
loud.
do you want tonight? Like they're about to have the.
This is an epic night, dude.
Vincent is pulling off what is known as the Gordie Howe hat trick of hooking up. So you hook your friend up, you get into a fight, and you fuck a girl in the same night. It's called the Gordie Howe hat trick of hooking up.
That's the dude. They hit it flawlessly like this night. Like you can't.
Vincent did it. Vincent pulled it off at this night. He's gonna go bone his chick to seal the deal. That's the easy part. He got in the fight. He hooked his boy up.
Tonight is your night, bro.
I know. I've had that stuck in my head for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
also, the
same.
frothy ejaculate was also stuck in my head. In
All
case
right.
you guys missed it.
I hope you mean it was stuck in your mind, not in your head.
It was in our segment, dude. It was in our segment, bro.
Tonight is your night, bro.
So Arnold.
Tonight is your night, bro.
So Arnold finally gets to pound Marnie out, probably for 32.
Well, the bed was
7
lumpy,
seconds.
so she needed to get in the floor with him.
Yeah, Marnie she does her little pose on the bed.
Julius. Good night.
Good night.
Like so it shows Arnold. Yeah, I know. You remember it was on like video, and you'd pause it, but it'd have like that little line through it.
Bro,
Yeah.
she was in this. She was in this like fucking Teddy, this like lingerie, bro. Like that night, it was so. It was
his
sick,
dude.
dude.
Like,
It was his
shot.
night.
Like
Bro.
there was the shot of her in the car that was the first time I knew what it was to feel love,
Mhm.
and then this was something completely different.
This was something else. Yeah,
But-
this was hot raging lust.
It was. Shattuck, for some reason, was
raging fire.
He was somehow reminded of the people from Pompeii, and he.
Damn it!
I know. I
Those poor
drowned.
villagers.
I know. I drowned at least 5 that night.
God, dude.
So anyway,
so look,
Wait a
get back
minute.
to it. She does her little pose on the bed, and it shows Julius. He's laying on the floor, and he goes like cover his head with the pillow, and you see his pec like flexing, and I just assumed that was like it was pumping blood down to his Rodney Dangerfield.
It had to be. That's
Side
how
note-
anatomy
side
works. That's what happened.
shaved Arnold in this scene.
Jesus Christ!
You want details? Look, man, this guy's gonna give them to you,
That's sexy, dude. I love that,
dude. I'm just
I
telling
love
you,
that you
shaving a
noticed that.
chest is an ordeal. Okay,
Oh, it is.
It's not easy.
tonight is
Can't
think-
you can't do
and
it
you-
if
and you know
without
what?
your dominant hand. I can tell you that.
Vincent, maybe Vincent helped him. That's all I'm trying
and
to
hey,
say.
you know, because it was his night, bro. But anyway,
It was
so
his night.
so it ends.
Wait a minute,
Everybody's
we
hooking
get-
up, right?
Last thing, in the hookup scene, one of the funniest fucking scenes, like in the movie, in my opinion. You clearly know that this is something that's really important in the 80s, right? you know that Julius and Marnie had sex because the scene cuts. Obviously, they're kind of like, moving in for it. The scene cuts, and Marnie is smoking a cigarette. You see somebody laying in bed, smoking a cigarette. That's
And
what you do after you bang.
That look on Julius's face.
Yes, that scene where so the scene shows Marnie and she's smoking a cigarette, so you know she just got banged, right?
And it's not her first rodeo.
And it's clearly, she smokes, she pokes. Everybody
science.
knows that.
It's science.
It's science. It's just what it is. And so the camera pans over away from Marnie to Arnold, and I can't do it. He is the.
I just want you to know, Chris, that your camera froze when you did that.
No, that was me freezing.
Oh, okay.
He has this look on his face.
When I watched that today, man, this popped in my head where like she sits down with him and he goes, what do I do now? And I just wanted it to like cut to her like a Family Guy joke, like it just cuts to her plastered against the wall under like 35 years of pent-up frustration.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he had.
Yeah.
Like in Scary Movie.
Scary Movie, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I do. So, ironically, Vincent, he clearly gets laid because he's with his girlfriend.
Gordie
And that's not
Howe-Hattrick.
dude, and that's not even the focus of Vincent's scene, because Arnold gets laid for the first time, loses his virginity. Congratulations, Julius, Arnold. But Vincent's actually excited because the next day they're gonna go see their mom, and that's all he can talk about. Yeah. And I think that matters because Vincent's like this skeezer. You think he's just like he's all about having sex, but dude, he's doing push-ups, trying to like
and sit-ups to get like it's the first time his mom's gonna see him. Like it's kind of sad.
It is. It's really sad because he has changed. The character has grown.
He's evolved,
like he's not just about ass and pussy. He still gets it.
And in the same way he's evolving, Julius has now had sex, so he has lost that respect for women.
Now he knows the truth.
Julius is now familiar with the morning after effect, where you're like, well, I don't know why you're still here.
The post-nut clarity.
Yeah, he's like, oh god, I gotta pay some bills.
Yeah, no. when you get done, you're like, yes. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's like nanoseconds that it happens. You're like, oh, this is a bad idea.
Or if it was like, if he's 35 years old and it's his first time, he's like, oh, this was going to be good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the next day they go to see their mother. They go to see their mom.
After what we all just said.
After what we all just said, but I mean, let's be realistic. Like it was the Gordie Howe, it's the Gordie Howe trick. What are you gonna do? But meet your mother for the first time.
Yeah, man.
And they go to
you've got to have drained balls to meet your mom for the first time. Like, you can't have that on your mind.
I mean,
why is that? What?
I don't know.
Why did they get silence?
Because we're laughing.
I wasn't laughing. I mean, I wasn't silent. I was laughing, dude.
Oh, Shaddy, no.
Arnold.
I can just see like thought bubbles between both of you. Like, we're cutting that.
Yeah. Gotta get rid of him now.
I was laughing, dude. After all of the respect for women comments you made, that was mild. All right,
yeah,
that was absolutely mild. So Arnold, they go to the Whispering Pines Communist Colony.
Whispering Eye?
And your Whispering Eye. All right, bye. Whispering Eye.
It means vagina.
It means vagina. It means vagina.
So much. This is going to be awful for me to cut.
This podcast is no. You know what? Just let it happen. Just like
this is
play
us.
It, dude.
You know,
Whispering Eye.
Whispering
Eye podcast.
Yeah. But so they're here to find their mom, right? Like, so this is where she's gonna be at, and then they start speculating. They can't get in, so they jump the fence.
They break in,
and fucking Vincent eats shit, obviously, over the fence,
of course, like, which is wonderful,
which is hilarious. But they break in, and then now they're like trying to be like, "Is that our mom? Is that our?" It was kind of like a heartwarming scene where you're like,
"Yeah,
they're looking for their fucking mom, man." Like,
and they're dressed up. They've got flowers in their hands, dude. Like they're just all out. They're just all out. And the groundskeeper lady basically like gently tells them that as she's escorting them out, their mother's passed away.
Right.
Like she's no longer there, and her spirit
exists there, but she's no longer there, and then
exists there. And so, spoiler alert. Only for the people who haven't seen this 40-year-old movie. 30 kids, 7-year-old, whatever it is.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
Gold jacket.
That's the groundskeeper lady is their mother.
Right. And so, but they don't know that. So this is where Vincent starts to lose his shit.
Yes.
Because all these promises, all this good in the world that he thought was like there. Now he's mad.
Well, just that
it was for nothing.
All that, the search for family, like he wanted a loving mother, like so bad.
But then when he gets there, it doesn't exist, and it's back to where he was again in the orphanage. It's like no one's there for him.
It's yet another letdown for him,
right?
Like which makes perfect
which
sense.
Makes him lash
character.
out, and now he's leaving everybody. He says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go do this." I assume what he meant when he left everybody at the little truck stop or whatever. He was just going to go get his money and then do $5 million worth of blow in a weekend and die. And I think that's what was going to happen.
Blow off a hooker puss.
Right.
I believe so as
like
well.
That? Wolf of Wall Street.
Woofy.
So Vincent has an utter meltdown.
It's safe my word. I don't give a damn about your safe word.
Yeah. Vincent has an utter meltdown, leaves Arnold and the girls at what appears to be a gas station somewhere in New Mexico, and decides to take the rest of the trip alone to deliver the package, because we've forgotten about it at this point in time in the movie, but they're still riding in the car that has the package in the trunk, and deliver it to our buddy Beat.
But as complex as this plot gets, it all makes sense. Like when you stretch it out, like this makes sense. Like that event was what makes him lose his mind. So now you've got your conflict, going into the third act or whatever, that he's just gonna he says fuck it.
He's like
Julius doesn't want him.
It's basically like us. Like we have a setback and we're like, you know what?
Pills are good. Pills are good.
Oh, I could taste it. I
like that.
But that's what Shadwick's 100% right.
Tonight is his night.
Tonight is your night, bro.
A lot of times when you do experience a setback, right? Like when you're watching the film, you're like, man, he's overreacting. Because he's like, fuck it. I'm just going to go back to being the greedy little weasel I've always been.
Right.
And he steals the car, takes it to Texas. But in hot pursuit is Julius, his twin brother.
The throwback, baby. He knows where he is.
Vincent can't hide. He cannot hide. Like Julius,
he jumps a plane, right? And then
he jumps a plane to Dallas or Houston or wherever they're supposed to be. Yeah. He jumps a plane to Texas. I'm
gonna feel really bad if it actually is Dallas. I thought it was Houston.
I don't remember, dude. No, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Texas is all the same. And so it's all full of Texans. And so here we are at the final scene where Vincent's delivering the package to Beetroot McKinley.
What the fuck? That name. Goddamn.
This is wonderful. And Beetroot McKinley doesn't care. He's just like,
you think Reitman
I don't care
just fucking
why isn't his name Cunningham?
Yeah, do you think Reitman just lost his shit every time they were talking about the name and they're like Beetroot? He's like,
yeah.
Just had a chuckle to himself.
You know what it is though, too?
Everybody has to think root beat, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what it is though, like people back then too, like nicknames were extremely popular, especially like Southerners in Texas. Like there's always everybody.
Bubba Ray.
That's kind of clearly that wasn't his real name, but he decided to go by it when it became popular. probably at this point in time, 80% of the people that know me call me Doc.
Right.
Right? Like, and that's just...
I refuse.
Right, and that's fine. Like, I'll still answer to both. I don't care. But, like, I could see how some people would adopt their nickname, but just when everybody uses it, and that's kind of what you have here.
Side note,
if I'm going
tradition.
to call somebody Doc, it's going to be a girl, and she's going to have some gloves on.
Side note, I used to know, like, when we were in the band together and I was wrestling, and I would either have people call me Lowry, and I know I worked with him. If they called me Champion, I know I wrestled with him. And if they called me Tony, I knew it was from fucking FNA.
FNA.
So it actually, it's a side note, it kind of made me, so when someone was like, hey, Tony, I'm like, okay, I know them from music because I'm terrible with names. And I'll be like, oh, friend, what's up?
One of our friends' wives, we knew each other for like 2 years, and she thought Shadwick was my first name.
Oh, there's a lot of people. We actually probably need to start putting closed caption. There's a lot of Shadwick confusion. It's Shadwick, Shadwick. Yeah, we don't associate with the Chadwicks. Not anymore.
They're fucking low lives.
They finally, like, the whole movie culminates as Danny DeVito's character Vincent is delivering the goods to Beetroot McKinley. Beetroot doesn't give a shit. He's just like, hey, I don't care if you're not the original deliverer, because he figures it out, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, he doesn't care.
But they
he tells
do a good little bait switch here too, where you're like, you think like Beetroot's about to fuck him up, right?
Yeah.
So like you're like, he's gonna off him. He's not gonna give him the money.
Yeah,
Because they pull him in the garage. The garage closes, and you're like, oh shit. Like, so he's about to get waxed, but no, sir. He's just like, I don't give a fuck how I got it here. Like, here's your fucking cash.
Yeah, the guy like opens up the briefcase. He goes, $5 million. And the guy's like, you want to count it? And he goes, no.
Yeah, yeah. And Beetroot tells him, he's like, give him what he deserves or what he's owed or whatever.
Yeah,
and you think, here it comes.
Here it comes.
They're gonna kill Danny DeVito, but no, unfortunately, it doesn't end so well for Beetroot. But he was an honest man, at least in the transaction.
He was an honest man in this dishonest transaction.
Yeah. He was part and parcel in stealing an expensive piece of technology that didn't belong to him. But when it came to delivering the goods and paying what it was owed,
he gave him what it was owed. You know what I'm saying?
He did. And then the hitman fucking kills him and his driver immediately.
Yep.
And snipes them, and so we forgot about him, right? Like, the hitman's still
You're
there.
like, oh shit! Like, we forgot that he even existed, but now he's back, and he's about to take his $5 million and fucking bounce.
He wants his money.
But Julius,
Danny DeVito's,
Danny's like running, and then Julius shows up. Yeah, or Vincent's running. Julius shows up, and then Julius gets in a pickle to where Vincent has to drop the briefcase or come back to save him, right?
Yes.
Like, it's the reversal of roles.
So what happens is Danny DeVito is trying to escape, and the hitman has him in his sights, and he's going to gun him down. But Julius intervenes, saving his life, sacrificing himself so that Danny DeVito, Vincent, can escape.
Right.
But like, the hitman turns to Arnold's character, Julius, and is going to murder him instead, which is part of Julius's plan. He wanted to sacrifice himself for his brother so he could escape and survive. But of course, the twins effect happens, and Danny DeVito realizes his brother's in danger. He can feel it.
Yeah,
and he's trying to escape, and he's
trying
conflicted.
he's trying to just override it, and he can't.
Yeah, and he can't,
and
dude.
He's got to
cannot.
come back.
So he turns around. And then now they're both confronted with the hitman, who, of course, does not allow anyone who sees his face to live.
And now there's a third rule that you find out about. And apparently that third rule involves 450,000 foot of goddamn stainless steel chain that falls
just
on
a
someone's head.
Just a cartoonish amount.
Third rule. But what's the third rule? Duck!
Whoa! Holy schmoly!
Absolute
Yes.
cartoonish amount of chain falls on this guy.
The Hitman dies like a Looney Tunes character in
Yes.
the film.
Yeah,
Like some shit out of Roger Rabbit. Like,
yeah,
this
Vincent pulled a 6-foot mallet out from behind his back and hit the switch to drop the chains on this dude.
It just keeps us again. I keep shouting him out, but John T, me and him had a good laugh at work about this because before I even watched it, he had mentioned the cartoonish amount of chain, and he was like, "I mean, they just murdered that guy."
Yeah, he's dead.
Like,
he's dead. They don't knock it. Like he could have survived the initial impact, but
No.
the amount of weight from the chain,
it just
And
keeps
DeVito
going.
and DeVito does something really funny too. Like if you watch his eyes, he's watching the chains, like his eyes just going up and down.
Yeah.
like trying to
watch it like
watch all that chain come down.
and it just
And it also has like this kind of excited look on his face.
and it just like and you keep waiting for it to stop, and it just like it just keeps going.
and they have a conversation while it's happening.
Yeah.
they have a couple of lines, and then the chain is still falling on the guy.
Yeah, it's still going.
It mounts up like 6.5 feet tall.
So now they've got it. So then we've got
the money. Yes,
we've got the money. It's time to go.
Beetroot's dead. The technology.
No one's the wiser.
No
Right.
one knows.
Technology
They can
is
escape
safe.
scot free. Everyone is dead who may be able to identify them. Right? Like this is the big moral conundrum at the end of the movie.
Yep. So
like,
Danny DeVito's a billionaire now.
Yep. And so, but then Julius is like, "What about the children?" And so they have to donate the money to the children. And so you're like, shit. So it cuts to them. They're actually, they're in the office now, right? So they're working together. And then they have the whole, you're like, damn, man, they gave the money away. They're having this whole back and forth. And then all of a sudden, like Julius or Vincent, I can't remember which one says like $4 million to charity. I can't believe that those guys stole $4 million. And then you're like,
Yeah.
it was $5 million.
Yeah. It's like Saul in Coming to America. He's like, aha. Aha.
Yeah, aha.
Aha.
My favorite part about that is, you find out that Vincent basically stole $1 million. They turned in 4 and not 5.
Yeah.
And they also turned in the technology too.
Right.
That was
so they're
heroes.
Yeah,
so they're heroes. They get in the newspapers. Everybody
Yep.
loves them.
Mm-hmm.
And
They start their own business.
And this lady at the hippie artist commune sees the article in the paper and shows it to old Heather Graham.
Yep.
And
she realizes it's really her sons.
Yep.
They're in a legit business together. They have like a consulting firm, whatever the fuck that means. Never understood what those people actually
We
do.
can
But
start
whatever.
one of those. We can consult
I'll
the fuck out of people.
I'll explain it to you later.
I'm ready to consult, gentlemen. Teach me.
So then she walks into their fucking office, and she's like, I was your mom the whole time. There's this big, awesome reunion. Cool. Family's back together.
She gives him like the finger guns, like, just kidding.
Yeah,
just kidding. I know you thought I was the groundskeeper, but I'm alive, bitches. I'm your mama.
And I know that you guys are 35, but I brought a stuffed teddy bear to give you. Just one. You guys fought it out.
You have to shoot.
I want to see which one of you wins. Go ahead.
In her defense, she was told they were dead by the evil doctor or whatever his fucking name was. And
Hey,
she summarily
dickhead.
Yeah, she summarily punches that guy out on screen.
Yeah,
right?
which is a great little ending. Like she goes and finds him and does the like cartoon fucking punch that they do
so
in movies.
bad, dude.
But hey, it may have been better than Swayze's kicks. But we
It definitely was.
That's up for another debate.
Mama.
Oh, Mama.
So we have that closure, and I believe like then it cuts, to them walking out, and then you find out, wait a minute, the twins had twins.
That's right. We're treated flash forward to a future scene where each twin, has their own set of twins with their prospective girls.
What about it skipping a generation? I guess there was too many Too many guys in the original frothy ejaculate.
They had to come out somewhere in a generation early.
Those guys from Pompeii, they have to repopulate it after that. So
the poor villagers. There we are.
And that's
the
it, man,
end
right?
scene.
That's it.
That is.
And then you have the iconic music by Little Richard, Twins, which I fucking love. Like that song,
excellent.
Actually, shout out to the soundtrack in this too. This soundtrack, even like the background music, was like funky as fuck and just had like a good vibe to it. Like I don't know,
it was
I picked that up a lot. Like we're just watching this. I don't know if I'm old now and that's what happens, but.
You ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak, yakety yak. Don't talk back.
Hey, that was the best version of any song Arnold's ever sang, except for Earthquake
Love is a, you know what, tonight, or if we can get away with it, we'll just end this episode with Earthquake Love because it's iconic.
Idea.
But before that, I feel like
Great Smile, Better Butt.
Better Butt. So there's really not a you didn't know segment for this, because I think we're all in agreement that this movie is fucking amazing all the way through. Such a treat. We got some sentimental value from childhood memories, all kinds of things. So
and multiple layers. It's an 80s trope classic.
A Reichman classic again, man. That dude.
Yes.
That dude's fucking hitting on all cylinders, man.
He did not miss in the 80s, man.
So what I wanted to do, though, is before we leave, unless you guys have anything else to add, I'm going to take it all over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
But this is my brother-in-law. This is my brother-in-law. So stupid, right? He came up with a bucket list. You know, a bucket list?
Oh, sure.
You know what his first thing on the bucket list was? Committing suicide. They're retarded.
She said,
okay. Yeah, here, because I have to tell you, here we go. Rockin' body, pretty face, attitude bigger than the San Andres. It's troubling when she's rumbling, so give her wide berth. Can't help but love her, she's the salt of the earth. Now I wasn't expecting a full-fledged passion assault. Yeah. And it's all her fault. When she's around, I can't help myself. Want to hold on tight to her continental shelf. Felt like dancing, so I asked her who knew I was flirting with a natural disaster. Park my truck on a dusty trail, start shaking like a 7 on the Richter scale. She's laying underneath, but she's a gift from above. Yeah, she's my earthquake love. Yeah, there was some pretty good singing. Okay, here's the second verse. Great smile, better butt. When I see her coming, I start howling like a mutt. I'm battling with this rattling inside of my heart. Just hope her temper doesn't split us apart. Cause a hard man knows that the soft woman's touch can move mountains. And there goes a mountain. Yeah, okay. She's the only woman who can make my bed rock. Try to catch my breath, here comes the aftershock. Felt like dancing, so I asked her who knew I was flirting with a natural disaster. Park my truck on the dusty trail, start shaking like a 7 on the Richter scale. She's laying underneath, but she's a gift from above, baby. She's my earthquake love. I worship the ground that she walks on. She's my earthquake love. Ooh, but she wrecked my whole world. She's my earthquake love. She cracked me right down to my foundation. She's my earthquake love. She's my earthquake love. Yeah, here she goes again. Okay, that was good. Yeah, that was perfect. The first take is the last take. Now I don't want to do it again.